introduction because we've got our YouTube channel filming tonight, so we've got some people at home. All the fun people here in the shop, on the patio.
It's a full house.
Yes.
You're fun too, guys.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
So we'll have questions from the computer that Gina's going to be fielding in the background. We'll have questions in person, so we'll make sure that everybody knows what's going on when we're talking about the cheese. Do we need to introduce ourselves at this point?
Let's do it.
I'm Sarah. I'm the manager here at the shop. Then we have Christina.
Hello.
She's the one who started the Fromage with Friends, and now we're here at number 10.
Number 10 in person.
Yay! Our first in-person Fromage with Friends, too, so that's very exciting.
Yes.
And then Rachel, the cheese expert.
Hello, everyone. You can just call me the expert.
Of everything.
And work.
But don't ask any questions.
No. So for the people here in person, if you need more wine or more water, more crackers, just give Gina the eyeball and she'll hook you up. She's going to be running back and forth to get more wine, so you'll all be situated.
We're going to give her the eyeball too, so.
Yeah. I know this is not
Gina.
enough. Who poured this?
Gina.
Not me.
An eyeball can be a wave to whatever you need.
Yeah, whatever you need.
Not this.
No, yeah. So what are we trying today?
We are eating fresh cheeses.
Yay.
As opposed to old cheese.
Exactly.
What does that mean?
We will get into that, but first I want to talk about what's on our plate so we know what's going on, and then I guess I'll have you pull the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So in the upper left-hand corner, you're going to see some little cheese balls on a skewer. That's going to be the mozzarella.
Oh, here.
And in that cup right next to it is going to be the buffalo milk mozzarella. And then in the right-hand corner, the more like pale yellow is going to be ricotta. And then in the middle is burrata. I hope this is right.
This
Yes.
cup and the.
I'm like looking at Annie's plate over here. I'm like, where's the closest plate? And then in the left-hand corner, in the peppers, is a chef. And then in the right-hand corner is feta. And then we have a bunch of accoutrements. You'll notice that there's no dried fruits. We have vegetables and berries. And then the little oil is balsamic oil, a little secret recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top secret.
Top secret. So,
No,
and as always, the flowers are edible, so give that a whirl. And then the ricotta is some honey or orange blossom honey. And what are we drinking?
You have a question?
Yeah,
We have a question.
what the yellow cheese is.
Oh.
Ricotta.
Ricotta. Oh, thank you.
So today we're drinking Bubbles, our favorite beverage of choice for all things eating cheese.
Yeah.
But we have to celebrate, 10 Fromage with Friends, so we wanted to do something a little bit nice. This is a Brut Sparkling from Argentina. It's 100% Chardonnay, the only way I'll drink my Chardonnay. But it's delicious. It's refreshing and light. I think pairs really nicely with the fresh cheeses, so that's why we chose it today.
You could say it's a Blanco de Blanco, couldn't you? Like a Blanc de Blanc, when I translated.
It's so funny.
You really are that.
Thanks, team. Yeah. Language expert as well. Just kidding.
Oh, yes, we'll be talking to you. And forgive my Italian because it's rough. Okay. So, what are fresh cheeses? Fresh cheeses are going to be the youngest of all the different cheese styles. So they're not going to have a rind, they're not going to have a funk, they're not going to have crystals. So they haven't been pressed or aged, which means they have to be eaten immediately. So you want to eat this
Eat it all immediately.
immediately, exactly, yes. Or 3 to 5 days, either or. These cheeses you'll find like at the store, they're gonna come in like a brine or some kind of liquid, and that helps preserve the shape and the moisture of the cheeses. So once you take it out, it's gonna start to spoil immediately. So, like you said, eat it.
Eat it.
And you should if you look at the cheese, none of them have like specks or anything weird on it. That's how it should look. That's fresh cheese. So white or off-white, that's fresh. And it shouldn't have a smell. If it smells sour, don't eat it. Good
It
roll.
has like a fresh,
Smells like milk, right?
Yeah.
I would smell the buffalo burrata. It does have like a little bit of or the buffalo mozzarella. It does have a little bit of a tangy smell, I feel like. We're going to be all smelling from the same cheese plate here. I guess it doesn't really, the smell's not very different.
So the little mozzarella balls go up fast too?
Yeah. As soon as it's out of the liquid. Yep. So
If you keep them in the liquid, you should be able, once you open them, you should be able to keep them for like a week or so.
okay.
But
3 to 5
definitely
days.
keep them 3 to 5 days.
Gotcha.
Keep them in the liquid as long as you've got it.
yes. All right, so we're going to talk about the first cheese, which is the classic Italian mozzarella, which is the little balls there. So this is made from fresh whole cow's milk.
Super cute, by the way.
I think
this
I love
skewer
it here.
situation.
Yeah, it is. I would eat everything on the skewer if I could. It's adorable. Mozzarella is the most popular cheese in the world, and it comes from the word mozzare, which means to cut off. So,
Mozzare?
mozzare, yeah?
Mozzare.
Yeah, like that, like that.
Is that what this was?
I'm trying, okay?
Mozzarella is known as a, what is it known as? What's the word that?
Fresh.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
pasta
Yes.
filata.
Oh, there we go. I didn't know this
Pasta
word.
filata. So, which is when you see those cheeses being stretched. That is a pasta filata
Okay.
cheese. Legend has it that mozzarella was created in a cheese factory where somebody accidentally knocked off cheese curds in a hot bucket of water, and then they tried to pull it out, and it started to stretch.
There's just a hot bucket of water
Yeah.
sitting on the ground, and
Casual.
they drop their cheese
Casual.
into it.
Yeah. And that's how it's made. And if you haven't been to Seneca in Little Italy, they make tableside mozzarella. It's amazing. So,
Where?
in Seneca, in Little Italy, a rooftop. It's beautiful. Brian, take me there.
There's the little cup here too. I guess we can talk about this, the little oil and vinegar cup. I think we planned on using it for the burrata just to give it a little bit of flavor, but you could also use it on the mozzarella and the buffalo mozzarella. I would taste them plain first before using this. This is olive oil, balsamic, some garlic, and then also some chili flake in there too. So I use this as a really good dipping oil for bread too, but also really good marinade. I would shake it up first.
Is that what you did for the focaccia?
Yeah, I just haven't eaten parsley.
Yeah, as you guys all know, Sarah is a chef, and we went over to her house one time. It was like the best thing that's ever happened.
They're like,
I
what
was
is
like,
on this
do
plate?
I have to pay for this?
But it's just, a nice marinating oil will go in with all of it.
You were there, Annie.
She made me bad. That made me
Just me. All right, pasta filata
Yeah. And then, all right, what are the little balls called?
of mozzarella.
Yeah. It's a hard C, I think.
I don't like saying it that way.
Katie, how do you say it?
I have like 6 other Italian words that I would love for you to say.
The
Perline?
Chile.
Perline? Perline? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Thank you. Yeah. We're all. Yeah.
Very efficient. I didn't have time.
So you can go to the store and get different sizes, basically. So you can get the big mozzarella, an 8-ounce ball. You can get the little balls. You can get the pearls. You can get the eggs. They have really cool, like
Different
grated
sizes.
cheese nuts too. Like they just grate it. It's like it's bread, but it's cheese.
Is that called something?
It's called nodini.
Nice. Still there. Yeah.
I've made like pasta.
Wait, what's the 8-ounce size?
Is that the bocconcini or is that just?
No, the one that
Bocconcini is the
bocconcini is
2,
like that.
right?
I think it looks like an 8, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong.
It should be like matzo ball soup. Yeah.
Different, honey. Don't throw me curveballs. Just you eat that cheese.
Just
That
making
was
sure
not
you're
in
paying
the
attention.
approved question list.
And you use garlic like powder?
No, grated garlic.
Grated garlic.
Fresh garlic. Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Good.
And now that you're eating the mozzarella, now you can compare it to the buffalo milk mozzarella. They're not the same thing. One's made with cow milk, one's made with buffalo. But the taste is going to be totally different. The buffalo is going to be more sweeter, more tangy. It's higher in calcium, protein, and lower in triglycerides.
And is this one's from Italy because they also have buffaloes in South America, right? The
Yes.
Booth brand?
Yes.
Well, that's
Absolutely.
what nobody can really tell you where the buffalo in Italy came from. Like, how did they get there? They're not from Italy, and so they think they came from South America.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay.
And it has PDO status. So as a reminder, you want to tell people what PDO status means?
What does it stand for?
Protection of
Denomination. Okay.
Yeah. You gotta do the
It means you have rules. You can only call certain things PDO status if they follow the rules, like Parmigiano Reggiano, which I don't know if we talked about in this class. We have to follow certain guidelines, and then you can be recognized as truly being able to be called Parmigiano Reggiano, and you can't call anything else that. Same with buffalo mozzarella, right?
Correct.
Mozzarella di bufala.
Yep, and that's from Campania. Campana?
Campania?
I hear you.
Oh.
Actually.
Oh, okay.
Come sit underneath the table.
And then we just pop out. We need to be there too. We can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, a little louder.
We will do, I'll do my best. Is that better? In the back? Okay.
You might need to walk around.
We're on camera.
We're on camera.
I'm joking.
We'll get a GoPro for next time. It'll just be you.
So what do you guys think about those two cheeses? The first two that
Very
we tried.
different.
Very different.
They're both excellent.
What do you like better?
Texture's different.
Yeah.
I think this one has more of like a, not bitter, but it's got like more pungent. I don't know what the word looks
Yeah,
like.
stronger,
totally.
It's not
tangy,
as
yeah.
like smooth as the other one, but it's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it on a sandwich with just some mortadella and olive oil on a baguette. So good.
I could have that every night.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about. I feel like the buffalo mozzarella doesn't need salt, but I always want salt on the cow's milk mozzarella. I don't know if that's just in their recipe, how much salt they add. Just so happens that they, don't need to add any. But
It's definitely saltier.
Like
Yeah.
the basil's so yummy
Yeah.
with that.
yeah.
I mean, buffalo milk, it has higher fat, right? Does it?
Yes.
Than cow? Yeah.
Fat, protein.
Not that has anything to do with salt. Sorry. I was
gonna
just
say,
like
that's
trying to
not
think.
salty.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like interactions between fat and salt.
Yeah. I don't know. Both good.
Yep. Time for the next cheese.
Yeah.
Ricotta, not ricotta, but ricotta.
I say ricotta. So.
I say ricotta.
So we poured the orange blossom honey into it for a little bit of sweetness. Surprise! Gotcha.
You guys skipped ahead.
We heard you say honey, and we thought it was on our plate.
We didn't know what
We
it was.
misunderstood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's all coming together.
So we thought it would be fun to put it on the little petite toast. Scoop that with the honey and the little blackberry, and I love it. I thought it was super good.
It's like a sweet option. Our first one was like a savory option. So
We actually have a couple honeys here, don't we?
Should we stir it up?
We got some honey. We have some honeys in the audience.
I was like, where? Didn't brought honey.
I'm trying with the jokes, guys.
Hey, good zingers.
So ricotta means recooked in Italian, and it's known as a whey cheese. So it's not made traditionally with like cheese curds. It's made with the little bits of curd that are left over in the whey. So when they separate the curds in the whey, you get these little pieces. So that's where they usually grab it from. They coagulate it with vinegar or citrus juice.
Nice.
Except for the one that you're trying. This one is made from Bellwether Farms, which this is the packaging. And what they do is they do whole cow's milk. So they use regular milk, but they don't use any vinegar. What they use is a culture, and it makes it more fluffier and creamier and buttery. But it's different because it, what was I going to say? It takes longer. It takes 6 hours to make this. Usually making ricotta takes, I know, I'm messing myself up.
I know, don't listen to me.
It takes like 30 minutes to make. So that 6 hours to 30 minutes is like totally different. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And it comes in a basket. And what's really cool is like once they make it, they pour it in the basket and they don't touch it. They let the weight. Did I see? You got me. It's like SeaWorld. It's just like don't sit in the first row. You might.
you might get ricotta on your face.
So it, what's it called? Drains?
Yeah.
Yeah, by its own weight, and it's just not getting disturbed, and that's what allows it to stay fluffy. So in your little cup, you'll notice it's like a cloud.
It's really good.
So I'm just curious, when you open that and you have it in your fridge, how long is it going to be good for?
3 to 5 days.
Okay.
Yep, all
It's
of
like
it.
the golden rule with
Yeah,
these cheeses.
yeah.
Anything fresh.
Okay, I missed that.
After
3 to 5 days.
After
gotta
you
eat it.
open it.
Okay.
You can have it in your fridge
Right.
for a little bit.
Once you open it
Yeah.
and expose it to air.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I feel like they generally come in pretty small packaging too, though. So for that
That's
reason.
just a lot,
good
but
size.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I would make like lasagna with it or something.
yeah,
Three
savory,
to 5.
sweet. I like the sweet.
It's really
Yeah.
good with
Yeah.
the honey and the berry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super good.
We make our own ricotta. Like Katie taught me how to make it, and it's pretty easy. I mean,
And
it
was it
doesn't
quick?
take that long. It's
Yeah.
really quick. Yeah. So anyway, something fun to try.
And also something really interesting. So Bellwether Farms uses Jersey cows. That's where they get their milk. The milk is higher in fat and protein more than other cows' milks. And that makes it that rich, balanced flavor. And Jersey cows don't produce as much milk as other cows. They do like 5 gallons versus, I think it's like double that.
A lot more
Yeah, a lot
gallons.
more.
Yeah.
It's
A
about
day, yeah.
15 to 20.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, great, great.
Because you
Yes.
learned it from one of our classes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually took a cow production class in college.
Nice.
We should hire you to teach these. We don't know what we're talking
We need
about.
a cow
That
expert.
was when I was pre-vet.
And then the baskets, this is exactly the same one that they used in the place. Like they don't mess with it. And I think that's really cool. Like the
Yeah.
little details.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Totally.
So
Now the
Awesome.
questions of how to use so much in desserts. Is there a better one to use for dessert versus like if you're using it in something else?
right. I think it's just a personal preference,
Yeah.
right?
I think probably ones with the goat and sheep milk mixed in there probably have a little bit more tang. So I guess it's dependent on what you want it to taste like. Because I guess in sweet and savory you could have the more fatty cow's milk or the tangier one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just
Probably depends on
the
what
flavor
you're
what you're
using.
looking for. Yeah.
Because pastry chefs use it a lot.
You guys aren't eating. Are you eating the cheese?
No, I know that it tastes amazing.
I had a piece of the
Yeah, I took a buffalo mozzarella home the other night and made like a tomato panzanella
That's what made me
situation.
think of like desserts.
Just saying.
Absolutely. Dessert.
I was gonna say
It's vegetable time?
vegetable time. So we wanted to talk today about how like cheese plates are super versatile. You don't have to just do grapes and apples and dried fruit and nuts and thick jam and all the stuff you usually see on a cheese plate. You can really bring what's seasonal into the cheese plate. So that's why we kind of wanted to combine the fresh veggies with the fresh cheese, because I feel like any of these cheeses go really well with any of the veggies we put on the plate. You could even use it, same thing like a dip. I know we made the ricotta sweet in this case, but she's going to try it with the sweet pea there. But you could use any of these cheeses and kind of dip into the burrata with your cucumbers, or same with the radishes. Like bringing things that are seasonal, even from your garden or from the farmer's market, and putting it on a cheese plate, everything's always going to pair. So this is like a really good summer plate. As you go more into the fall season, you could use the fall fresh veggies and fruits, things that are kind of in season that time. We wanted to do more veggies, but seasonal fruits you could do stone fruits. That's why they go pair so well with burrata and mozzarella, things like that, because it's just
I
fresh.
put peaches in my salad with the tomatoes
With
and
the
mozzarella.
tomatoes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
And the blueberry was really good. Good
job.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of showing the versatility of cheese, and you don't have to. Cheese plates can really just be like whatever you find in your fridge, and put it on the plate and call it a day. People will be happy.
You mentioned burrata too. Time to move on to burrata.
Sure.
In the middle.
It's burrata time?
Burrata time. It's the Italian
Burrata
word.
jingle.
Oh yeah, we should drink. Every time we say burrata.
Oh, she's empty.
Oh, but there's a bottle.
That's embarrassing.
You guys need another bottle.
Oh,
Gina.
Oh,
raise your
it's
hand.
9 o'clock.
Waggle your eyeballs.
She heard you say we need
Sorry, people at home, we don't have a wine fairy sent to your house.
That's an extra cost.
Add on. There you go.
Yeah, right?
Always looking for those add-ons.
You wanna?
Chocolate
Oh,
bar,
yeah.
baguette, wine fairy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, then I'd be like holding it with my hand.
It's gonna be great.
It's the one in the middle.
It's for the people at home.
All right, guys, it's burrata time.
You could open it on the lid if you want to, or your plate.
So the Italian word burro means butter, and that's where the name burrata comes from. And a lot of people get confused between mozzarella and burrata. So mozzarella is firm all the way through, burrata is not. So when you cut open the burrata, we're gonna see what's inside.
Oh, I'm gonna cut it. Okay.
Yeah, why not? It'll be fun.
Can you see it on camera?
I'm gonna move it onto the camera.
So inside, it's basically just cream and cheese curds. That's it.
And you can see the skin around the outside, which is
Mozzarella. And how that came to be was there was a big snowstorm, and a man couldn't get out of the house, and he didn't know what to do with his leftover curds and cream, so he made a shell out of mozzarella to save all his stuff. And that's how burrata was born.
Is that Green Bay?
Yes.
What did he say?
What year was it in Green Bay?
No, Green Bay. All the cheese heads.
Because it's so. I should have brought my cheese head. I have one.
We have two in the shop.
Oh yeah.
I want to know
Oh,
what
we
year
wore them
that
for
was.
Halloween.
That was in 1956.
Nice.
Yes. Thank you for asking.
Lambeau Field.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But
Burrata's fairly new.
yeah, and it didn't come to the United States till the 90s, 1990s.
That's when I was born.
You were born. Great.
Some of this.
So, cheesemaker Mimo Bruno, he started Di Stefano. This company. Stefano. There we go. I'm nervous. Sorry. Okay. So, yes. So they only made burrata in his small little village, and so he brought it out here in the 90s when Sarah was born. And I was really surprised that it was so new. Like, I thought it would be around, like, because all the cheeses we tend to talk about are like hundreds and the 8th century and that kind of stuff.
And I feel like burrata's always been a fad cheese. Like it's everyone is like always discovering burrata for the first time, and it stays so popular. And we started doing this burrata tray for the summertime, and it turned into a year-round tray because people loved it so much. So now you can come and we'll do like a nice tray for you, so you can just. A lot of people, I feel like, don't know how to serve burrata. They're like, what do I do with this soupy mess of cheese? And so
Put a spoon in it.
put a spoon in it, really, a straw.
We serve it with cantaloupe. and
Cantaloupe,
what were we gonna
I was
say?
saying, so
roasted-
I've seen, like, I watch TikTok cooking videos,
Yes,
and I swear
same,
burrata,
right?
because I didn't know about burrata. I didn't know about burrata until I saw that so many people have posted like ways to use burrata and like on sandwiches, and it's just, it looks so good. I didn't know burrata until like 6 months ago.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh my god.
No.
I've been missing out.
had it was a burrata cheese salad.
Ooh, really good.
Yes.
Oh, peaches.
Yes.
Peaches.
Prosciutto.
We have a sandwich with burrata on it called the Italian. We do burrata, salami, and then roasted tomatoes that have been roasted in like olive oil and garlic and stuff. And it's very messy, but it's good.
Thank you for cutting that open.
You're welcome. Now, who needs extra burrata, Robbie?
There we go.
That's for you.
Come in first and you get extra cheese. There we go. Tell people.
Now share with your mom too, Robbie.
First time I had burrata was pamplemousse, which I think they get it from you guys, right?
Yes.
They do.
Yeah. There you go. Full circle.
Full circle.
Bringing it around.
Bring it around.
Nice.
In a circular form.
Did you tell them that you pour the oil on the burrata?
Yeah. I went and poured the rest of my olive oil balsamic mixture on top of the burrata. Maybe taste the burrata first plain. See what you think. I think it's very similar to the mozzarella. It's just more creamy, more spreadable, stuff like that. But I really like using burrata as a dip, so I'm just gonna scoop my cucumber right into
This
the
is
cup of
amazing
burrata.
together.
That's really good.
That's what I do.
Everything's fine.
I got some on the feta.
Okay.
All right. So far, what's the favorite?
The cheese.
What cheese? I like the ricotta.
The ricotta is what I was going to say.
I like the burrata.
Yeah.
Me too.
Like the
I'm not a
buffalo.
sweet person.
Yeah.
Oh, and I liked it.
Lone Ranger over
Pizza.
there with the buffalo.
The pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot we have a spreader.
Ta-da!
Oh, yeah, we could use that.
Sorry for reaching.
Could be.
Does anyone have any questions or want to review anything? In the back. Sarah, the oil mixture.
She just put a tomato in her mouth. It is a mixture of balsamic, right? Yeah, like an aged balsamic vinegar, olive oil.
So olive oil, there's a 10-year balsamic in there, fresh grated garlic, and some red chili flakes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so a little bit spicy.
Oh, it's so good.
Is the balsamic reduced or is it just?
It's a 10-year aged balsamic, so it is a little bit on the thicker side. And then when you mix the grated garlic with
You're
the
right.
balsamic, it gets really nice and thick with the olive oil.
It has such a good flavor.
I love it. It's my favorite
I can't
balsamic.
stop. Like I want more.
And
We should sell it. I'll make a jar and sell it.
You should sell it.
yeah,
I
right.
know. You can find.
These fresh cheeses too, like usually we serve cheese at room temperature, like the more aged cheeses, even brie, things like that, you want it to sit out, and you can do that with this, but I just wanted to say that I actually like fresh cheeses cold, which is like, you can, I mean, obviously however you want it, you can eat them room temperature, if you like it that way, that's great, but I was just like, because this is nice and cold, but I actually like that in a fresh cheese, personally. But again, I don't know if I'm gonna like get yelled at that about cheesemongers. You know what I mean?
I want cold burrata.
Yeah.
Same.
Because I also, this is weird, but when you put burrata on pizza, I would rather put it on after the pizza's cooked because I still want the burrata cold on the hot pizza.
Yeah.
Like the
Oh,
arugula.
definitely.
Like
Yeah,
arugula on.
you want that cold too. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're on the same page.
Yeah. All right, great.
All right, time for Chev in the corner with the stuffed peppers. I took 20 hours to make these, you guys.
And really, it took her forever.
So eat it all. So all it is this Miss Natural Chef from Cypress Grove. If you're not familiar with Cypress Grove, they're located in Northern California. They make Humboldt Fog, Midnight Moon, mostly goat cheeses. And there's a cute little story of how she started her company. Her neighbor had a bunch of goats, and she went to her neighbor and she said, "Hey, can I buy 2 of the goats from you?" And the lady said,
If you can catch them, you can keep them.
and so she went out there for a couple weeks every day trying to lure them in with some grain, and finally she got Esmeralda and Hazel. Hazel.
Oh, how cute. Well, at first they were only using the goats for like brush control.
Yes,
Like they get the goats to just eat away at the brush on their land to kind of keep it fire safe.
Is it harder to catch a goat or a chicken?
Great question,
Great question.
From the
Why
audience.
don't you try it out?
I didn't hear the question.
Is it harder to catch a goat or a chicken? Do we have anyone with experience?
I might go because
Which one?
I find it hard to catch chicken.
Chickens
Chickens.
is some
Survey
anecdotal
says.
answer.
So Chev just means goat in French. So Chev can basically be an aged goat cheese. It could be a fresh goat cheese.
I actually didn't know that. I just
We
have
went over
to.
that in our show.
No, I know. That's when I learned it. I'm just saying. So
I see.
everyone's always learning. I'm just trying to.
And if you notice, like with a lot of goat cheeses, they're more white than other like cow milk cheeses or sheep milk cheeses. And why is that, Rachel?
That is because they lack beta carotene.
What is beta?
What is it?
Is that what's in a carrot?
Yeah, it is. It's what to give its color.
A+.
Yeah, so it ends up being white because it doesn't process things the same way.
So younger goat cheeses are going to be more tart, tangy, and more balanced. The more age a goat is, you're going to get more of that goaty kind of flavor. This one shouldn't have any goaty aftertaste.
Like,
So are these young goats?
Like barnyard. That's
yes,
the
barnyard,
word.
yeah. Like gamey.
Grassy. Grassy. I think the
Yeah.
oldest goat cheese we have, like the Midnight Moon and the Garocha, they're like a year age, right? Yeah, so I don't think I've ever seen a goat cheese age longer than
Well,
that.
Pantaleo is probably aged a little longer.
It is.
But it is a fun party trick if you're at a party and there's a wedge of cheese and it's like porcelain white, and you're like, oh, this is goat's milk.
Chef.
Whatever, it's chef. Don't worry about it.
Do you know what chef means?
Way to not make friends at the party.
It goes either way. You make cheese, you're a cheesemonger, what do you do?
Yeah, it could go either way.
So, Chev is a seasonal cheese, meaning it's only usually produced in the springtime because goats don't produce milk all year round. So usually from April to October is when you get the richest, freshest goat cheese. And goats produce far less milk than cows and sheep. So goat cheese is usually made in like smaller batches.
And it can be more expensive.
Yes.
Like all the little Frenchy goat cheeses are so small and cute and little. And even this, I mean, the Miss Natural too.
Yeah.
And you can get goat cheese in the winter. They just end up using frozen summer milk, or they train the goats to mate at a different time. than they would naturally would.
Yeah, they changed the lighting because the goats respond to the sun. We were talking about this earlier, and yeah, so they changed the. They'll like black out the in the barn the different windows, and then they'll change the lighting to make them think that the days are longer or whatever it is to make the goats breed at different times and to produce milk at different times.
That is ridiculous. That sounds like
Poor goats, they don't know what's going on. They're like, didn't I just do this? That's fine.
It's so good in that bell pepper.
Oh, good. What'd you put on the bell pepper?
We put. What did we put?
Pepper.
It's similar to everything but the bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's.
Yeah, from Trader Joe's. But we did have a recipe to make it yourself. It's just equal parts of, or you could use a tablespoon of the sesame seeds, onion flake, garlic flakes, poppy seed, and then you could season it with salt. Do you know if this one has any salt in it on its own? I don't think it tastes salty.
No.
The seasoning. So
It doesn't,
it's just all equal parts of those 4 things: the sesame, onion, garlic, and poppy seeds. And then you can make it yourself and not pay an arm and a leg at Trader Joe's. But it's just a cute little appetizer for
$1.99.
It's very cute.
It's a joke, okay?
It's so colorful.
Comedy.
Thank you.
It's called comedy.
It's very enjoyable.
I didn't have one. I don't like peppers.
I
Michael, like it?
You know
Yeah,
what?
you're gonna love it.
Do you want to have?
You know what it is, Sarah? The fact that you didn't use green. The green is so strong. I think the yellow and the red is better because I'm not a big fan of peppers either.
Yeah.
They're just so cute. We just wanted the cute little ones.
So Annie, do you not like a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc or a Cabernet Franc?
I do like those.
You do? Because they have that green bell pepper smell and taste it in those pyrazines.
She just
She said she just thinks she's so fancy for the people at home.
You do think of me.
Okay, this is good.
But you are.
Yay! Good.
Right? Because the pepper is not so strong. Because the green pepper
Yeah, you're right. The green
would
is
be
like-
too overpowering, I think, for the cheese.
I like the sweet of the pepper and the salty of the cheese.
It's very
It's a
good.
good tailgating.
Ah, yes.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
like
The
a
gentleman in the
homemade
front.
drink.
Thank you.
He's great to be
Or a
here.
Padre game or a college
Looking at his notes, what to say next.
It's like a fancy jalapeno popper,
Yeah.
but gold. It's fine.
You could do the same thing with a
It's a good
jalapeno.
gamer.
That's
Goat
true.
cheese instead of cream cheese.
Yeah, that would be good.
And you'll notice that the chev is like a different texture than like a cow's milk cheese. That's because it's higher in fatty acids and less casein.
Yeah, casein.
Casein, yep, thank you.
Yeah. And that makes it easier to digest, right? You were telling me that earlier.
Yes, yes. So people will come in and they're like, oh, I'm lactose intolerant, or I can't have cow's milk cheese or whatever. They want the goat cheese. Wink. They'll get the goat cheese to help digest.
And it's the fatty acids are what gives it that different taste, the goat's milk taste, like that barnyardiness or whatever we were talking about. I think they actually named some after goats, so like caproic acid and capric acid. That's because capra,
Oh, that's I didn't know
means
that.
goat in Spanish, I believe. Right. Yes, I'm getting a yes from the audience. Okay, excellent. Yeah, so they name those fatty acids after goats, and that's what gives it that flavor.
What do you think has the least amount of calories on the plate as far as the cheeses go?
Because we're worried about calories, right?
Yes.
The harder the cheese, the less calories. What do we think?
I know, so I don't know.
Oh, that's
I guess ricotta, but I'm clearly wrong.
Oh, sorry.
It has to do with the milk, not the age. Go. Yep, nailed it.
Yep. 70 calories. 70 calories.
What's
Wait,
say
which
that
one?
again?
In the goat.
Goat's milk has the least amount of calories.
Yep.
It's the fatty. It's the fattiest milk.
I think it's the casein. I think it's the protein, like because it's lower or the different structure of it, it brings down the calories. But that is true. Good question.
Mozzarella is 80, so that's a close. Keep going.
Buffalo is up there.
All right. All the peppers are gone.
Yeah, we ate the peppers. We didn't even give her any.
Nope.
Do you guys like goat cheese? Are we? Yes. Okay. Because a lot of people say that they don't. You love it? Okay, great. Cool. Just checking in.
All right. The last cheese in the right-hand corner is feta, which means slice in Greek. and it's
It
been around.
does? Feta means sliced?
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
I always learn so much.
And then it's mentioned in the Odyssey, Homer's Odyssey. They've been making it since back then,
I read
apparently.
that in high school.
I read that at some point.
And it's a protected cheese as well. So what we talked about earlier, it has to be made in a specific area, using a specific method. So if the one that we used is from Mount Vicos, anybody know?
Vicos?
Thank you.
Let's go with Vicos.
And if you look on the back, you're going to see this yellow and red label. This is how you know that this is a true Greek feta. Anything else is not real Greek feta. So Whole Foods sells feta, but it's cow's milk, and that is not real feta. So don't buy that.
Don't go there.
Don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
Dragon Whole Foods.
Versions of feta.
Which is feta style. The true Greek true feta is going to be Greek, and it's going to have this symbol, and it's made with sheep and goat milk.
Sheep and goat.
Sorry,
But not cow.
but no cow. So it has to be at least 70% sheep milk and 30% goat. This one is 80% sheep and 20% goat.
And they do make all sheep feta too. I've had that before.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't had.
I wonder if
Yeah.
New Zealand used to do
French
that.
feta is usually all salty.
Do they add the salt?
Yeah.
They don't.
This
So
yeah.
if you ever go into a Middle Eastern store, it's Bulgarian feta, Greek feta. What is the difference between all of them?
The milk, because I think Bulgarian is sheep too. More sheep. And more sheep's going to be more fatty, more acid, and saltier too, I believe.
And the PDOs kind of work like wine does, right? So champagne can only be champagne in France. We all know that. So it's the same thing. It's feta can only be feta PDO from Greece.
Yeah, so this is 80-20, and then from Greece, and then maybe the Bulgarian is going to be more.
Yeah, or it could
50-50.
be 80-20, but since it's not from Greece, from that area, it can't be technically called feta PDO. So when we say look for the PDO, you don't really need to. It's just now you know.
I'm
the
trying to
shipping
raise
stuff.
cheese
Yeah, of
like
course.
snobs. And so
So the
It's just a sparkling feta. It's not a champagne. And that's okay.
that's perfect.
That's your best joke I've ever
Yes.
nice job, Rachel.
But that's a great question. Yeah.
But that feta right there isn't in the brine. You know how you
There is brine in there.
There is.
A
Okay.
little bit.
Like a smidge.
And is that what actually makes it salty or no?
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
So
Yeah, another
Buy
question.
feta from this Greek guy at the farmer's market, and he was saying after you dump it, you can actually just put water with salt and keep it covered.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally.
In
Yeah.
the refrigerator. So once you get rid of the initial stuff, you just fill the regular with water and salt and keep it covered.
Totally.
yeah.
Yes.
That's
It's a good hack to
Do
keep
you,
your feta fresh.
do you cover
ratio.
the
He
all
said
the
you
cheese
keep it all covered.
completely
but
covered?
You can
Okay.
just put in fresh water and
But
salt.
you don't have
He
to.
said
You don't have to
keep the
submerge
cheese
the
covered.
whole thing in water.
I would.
You
Yeah.
want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
covered.
Yeah, she said cover the
Yeah,
I thought
so-
you meant cover, not.
So you don't have to eat the original liquid.
I don't know.
You can
How
add
do you
your
do the
own water
ratio of water to salt?
Yeah, so that's on my list of things to talk about. It's my short list, but
Pretty good. Yeah.
no, you guys, you're teaching each other. It's good. But so when you're buying feta at home, you don't have as much feta as say we would carry here. When we order the feta here, it comes in these 2 gigantic containers. So we have the feta for longer when we're selling it here. So we're constantly replacing the brine because the brine does get a little bit slimy, like a little bit like that viscous texture that you don't want. So we drain the feta, clean the container, put the feta back in, and then the ratio that we use is actually from the company. We get Essex feta generally. We don't have any right now, so we had to use this one. But it's 1 quart of water or 32 ounces of water with 4 tablespoons of kosher salt. So then you would just refill the container with fresh brine and totally cover the feta, and it's like brand new. The feta has a new life, and you can keep it for actually quite a long time.
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. There we go.
Wow, that's
It would
really
not
good.
last
That's
6
a lot
months in the
longer.
refrigerator.
Well, when we carry so much, like we have the same feta all summer, and it's still fresh and tasting the same, and if you keep that brine fresh, and every time you're like sticking your hands in there or sticking tongs in there to grab feta out, I would change the brine just to keep everything fresh, no bacteria, keep everything tasting its best.
Yep.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
And another cheese snob tip, don't buy crumbled feta. Just buy this and crumble it yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't get why you buy crumble.
Why though?
We get this.
For ease.
Crumbling is a lot of work.
When you're trying to make dinner,
It is a lot of work.
you got a kid around. You buy the crumbled feta. Sorry, I need a piece.
So there's 3 different ways that feta is aged. Usually most of the fresh cheeses aren't aged, but feta is aged just a little bit. So there's barrel aged, which this one is. So they pour the milk curd mixture in these barrels, 120-pound wood barrels.
Like wine barrels.
Like wine barrels, yeah. We have some inside. And it comes in big triangle pieces. They're molded in there, and then they seal it. And they just have salt on it, and that's it. They don't add brine into it because the moisture gets pulled out from the salt, and it creates its own brine. And then they ship that from Greece to the United States.
Wow.
It arrives at, the company or like a retail shop. They pull out the pieces of cheese, and then they make the brine to put it in there, and then that's how they'll sell it. So that's the best way. Barrel aged feta is the best out of the 3 options. The second option is in a basket, which kind of the same idea. It's going to be more saltier, but it looks like a basket like this. And then the third one is in a tin, but they don't use tins as often because the shopkeepers kept cutting their hands on the tin, so it's not safe. So they don't do that anymore.
It's like the buttons on the prosciutto.
Yes!
We don't get into that.
No. We've all been injured. And then cheese, kid. Cheese.
Especially people at home, all they can hear is that.
Yeah.
You're
need
welcome.
like a please wait technical difficulty.
Switch to the
Some
screen.
elevator music.
We'll return once the screaming has subsided.
So the feta that has more goat is going to be more dry and more like easy to crumble, and more with ones with more sheep milk are going to be, like I mentioned earlier, fattier, barnyardy.
So I wonder if, because we sell this Meredith marinated, they used to call it feta. Before it said Meredith marinated feta, and it was goat and sheep milk, but it's like these cubes that come, that if you pull them out of the oil, they're soft and spreadable. So I wonder if they have more sheep, like you said, the goat is more crumbly. Now they can't call it feta because it's from Australia. It's not a Greek cheese, so now it just says marinated cheese, but I'm now thinking that it has more sheep milk in it because it's spreadable.
Well, it's also in olive oil instead of brine, so it could like
But you can
penetrate
still have
it. You know what I mean?
marinated feta from Greece, right?
Oh yeah, no, I just meant like
Yeah.
why it's so spreadable.
Oh yeah, could
The
be.
olive oil might.
And shorter aged feta is going to be more creamier, and the longer it ages, it's going to be more.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is that what
Cheese
happens with all cheese?
Yeah. Totally.
I'm the expert.
I'm taking this.
All right, take it.
I love this feta. This is one of my favorites.
It's really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Oh, look at this
crumbly,
little
but
piece.
keeps its shape too. You know how when if you were to ever accidentally buy pre-crumbled feta, you get like those really small like crumbs. Avert your eyes. Crumbs of feta, but this like breaks into nice big pieces.
She spilled her water on the table, just so everyone knows. And she tried to cover it up by taking her notes and putting that on top of the water. So. Anyway, continue, Sarah.
No, just that if you were to accidentally buy the pre-crumbled feta from time to time,
Yeah.
you get like those just like crumbs of it at the bottom. Like this breaks and crumbles
Right.
into nice big chunks of
Yeah.
feta.
That you don't really want to put on
You
your
don't waste that
salad.
much.
Yeah.
Because
Because it's not as
really,
dry.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you-
All right. Any questions or reviewing, or what do you guys like?
Or comments. More
That
from
is
the
my favorite.
man
That
who
was-
sells a Greek feta.
That feta was delish. So good.
I've dipped everything in the balsamic oil.
Yeah.
Mine was gone like 5 minutes in, so.
It literally goes with everything you're
Yeah, I know, I
so
just-
good, Sarah.
Can you make some more before we go home?
Yes,
Yeah.
so good.
Oh,
Bottle
no.
that and sell it.
Do we feel like the bubbly goes with the cheeses as well? The nice
Yes.
freshness?
Well, I'm the wrong person to ask.
Yeah, I know, me
Yeah,
too,
no.
honestly, yeah. I like sparkling wine with everything, but. I think it's
It
nice
goes
because
great
it's light
with bread,
enough.
though.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
does. See?
I would think it would go
Perfect.
good with
It
bread
does,
and a nice
yeah.
dry white. Even.
Yeah.
Can you review the recipe for the oil?
Oh yeah, good idea. Sarah,
Thank
can
you,
you
Sarah.
review the recipe? Sarah?
Oh, for the oil? So it's when I made this
No, I'm
when,
okay.
at home.
Yeah, I got it.
Back over here.
Sarah's trying to talk to me.
When I made it at home, when the girls came over for holiday dinner, I did olive oil, the grated garlic, I did fresh parsley because I had some, and then the red chili flake, and I let that marinate in the fridge for a while. Then when it was time to serve, when they got there, I poured the olive oil mixture, marinated mixture, into a plate, just a shallow plate, and then drizzled the balsamic over the top because I felt like marinating for even just a couple of hours really got the flavor going together. But you can keep this in your fridge for a while. I mean, I'd say maybe 2-3 days tops. If you use fresh garlic, if you use grated garlic, or even the dried garlic flakes, you could keep it longer. But it's one of my favorite things.
It's all of our favorite.
Olive.
Sarah, what was your favorite cheese?
The feta was I liked it.
Yeah. What about you, Christina?
Ricotta.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I love it with the honey and
I love
That's
sweet.
good too. But I like the burrata too. How it's
I
spread.
think I like the burrata. Yeah.
Yeah.
Today.
Today?
I'm usually a feta person, but
Yeah, I don't think we hate it.
Yeah.
either.
So
Yeah.
we make the ricotta at home.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
And we drizzle it with honey, and then we put pistachios on top.
Ooh, chocolate pistachios.
Oh, yes.
Sounds
Do
good.
you chop them up? Like do a... Yeah.
Do you eat it warm? I love
wanna
warm ricotta.
It's just like mostly room temperature.
Still like room temperature?
Drinks all day long.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
That does sound good.
That's awesome.
The pistachios give a little.
And that's like a super impressive appetizer,
Yeah,
too.
that would be,
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to.
People find out you made your own cheese.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. Pistachio. All right, we're going to have to try that.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right, I wanted to do one final cheers with everybody.
Cheers!
Oh wait, I have a speech. This is cheers to Christina.
Okay.
Because we started this class series March of last year, and who knew it'd grow to 10 classes and growing? And this is our first in-person class. So everyone, cheers to Christina. We're so proud of you.
We love you.
And it wouldn't be possible without all of you coming
Yes.
to our classes, obviously, and signing up for the virtuals and now being here in
Thank
person.
you.
So we appreciate you all for being here and
I
for
freak
doing
out
all your
for
hard
all
work.
day, and then we're here, and then I'm like, oh, this was fine.
And you're nervous all day.
Yeah. These poor girls, I'm all like, what do I say? So, thank you.
Thank you all so much. Thanks to everyone watching at home. Do we have classes coming up that we want to talk about? I'm trying to think.
What's on the schedule?
There's a cider and cheese pairing downtown.
Sold out.
Sold out. You and yours? Kidding. You and yours cocktail class where we pair cheese and you make your own cocktails. We're doing that every 2 months. Yeah, exactly. We have a cocktail expert here in the crowd. So that's going to be every 2 months. So feel free to sign up on their website at You and Yours, and we have a bunch
Whiskey and cheese.
of whiskey and cheese. That's $7 grand.
Where's
$7 You and Yours is downtown in the East Village. The East Village.
Can we do it virtual?
It's not
No, just
virtual.
in
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
To be on the drive home.
Yeah. Exactly.
We'll do more virtual.
Yeah, and then we have a whiskey and cheese pairing at $7 grand, which is amazing. Rob does it; he's awesome, and the whiskeys are always incredible. So, highly recommend that. That's down in North too, and you can sign up for that on our website.
If you're looking for another in-person class, we have one coming, I think the 25th of September, towards the end of this month, or end of next month, on a Sunday, we're going to do a cheesy appetizer class, so getting ready for the holidays, kind of learning some fun, cheesy
That's
things
in
to make.
person.
And so I'll do some demos on appetizers to make, and you guys will try them along with a cheese plate if you want to come back in person
And if
later
this-
in September.
If this dipping oil is any indication, I think we can really get excited for
Now I
that.
know, first course, dipping oil at the appetizer.
And our next virtual cocktail class, which I know you guys have been big supporters of, we really appreciate it. Thank you. Shout out to Andy and the crew here. That's going to be in October. October. That's gonna be the week before my wedding. So we're gonna we're gonna do like a wedding send off situation and just really stress me out just like 4 days before. So if you want to join that, we do that virtually. So all right, thank you guys so much. I mean, we're gonna hang out, but you know, to the people at home. Really stress me out.
You chose the date.
We talked about it.
That was your wedding?